Okay, so it is now time to refresh our talk about ATB weight tricking. I think the first thing that we should do before anything when we talking about Materia Keeper is we need to talk about ATB weight tricking. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dash, you just told us about ATB weight tricking on the last episode. Yeah, but it's literally one of the most important concepts in this speedrun. So let's talk about it. So ATB weight is, where you're in weight, and it's where if you are in a menu or you're targeting, it stops time from flowing. And we are now at the point where our characters are becoming fast enough versus the enemies where we can start doing the weight trick. So remember on sample, the whole thing that we had to do was basically just make it so that we only were allowing time to flow if two of our characters were gaining ATB. That's different. Now is when we start thinking about the weight trick. So first, the first battle where the weight trick becomes very relevant is the laser encounter. So let's show what happens if we very quickly just take out one of the enemies here. Okay, so if you notice, we can queue up. It's his turn right now, and we just queued up an attack with Kate. So Kate can go hit him. Then he gets a turn. Kate hits him. He gets a turn. You see how it's just like with ATB active, sort of, if we're not doing anything about it, okay? But now, check this out. You have to imagine in your head the enemy's ATB bar. And when it's the enemy's turn, their ATB bar is full when it's their turn. And so if we take the time during their turn to queue up Kate Sith's turn, and then we hold time, so I am now targeting with Cloud to hold time and have our ATB in wait frames. That now holds his ATB bar, the Deathclaw's ATB bar, just emptied. And if we weren't holding time, it would be filling right now. But Kate Sith's ATB bar is still full because it's still Kate Sith's turn. So the whole idea of the weight trick is that Kate Sith is faster than a Deathclaw. And so his bar will fill up slightly faster, which means if we are able to queue up Kate Sith's turn and then hold time during the Deathclaw's turn, during Kate Sith's turn, it will pin both of their ATBs down at 0. And then we can allow them both to start filling up at the same time. And because Kate Sith is faster, his turn will come up first, and he'll get a second turn. And so, as we see right here, we just hold time. Now Kate Sith's ATB bar is empty. The Deathclaw's ATB bar is also still empty because we've held time the whole time. And now, if we defend, this just makes it easier. If we defend with Cloud and Barret and then hold circle to queue up Kate's next turn as quickly as possible, he'll get a second turn before the Deathclaw's turn. Defend, hold circle. Look at that. Kate Sith went a second time. So this time I don't think it will happen because it took too long. Like we weren't able to hold time right away. But that time, you see that, so it went Deathclaw, 2 Kate Sith turns. Deathclaw just went once, 1 Kate Sith turn. Then Deathclaw went again, weight trick, 2 Kate Sith turns. And again, the reason that the one time it didn't work and it won't work this time is because his attack animation is so quick that now when I try to frantically flip over to Kate Sith and get that turn in and then hold time with Cloud, he's already gotten some ATB this time. But when the enemy turns have longer animations, then it allows you to get your time held before the end of their animation, and that's what's so important. So that right there is what weight tricking is to get those extra turns in. And the reason it's so important on this particular fight is because let's say your manipulate misses. Well, then he just got another turn. Now we go for another manipulate, then we got it. But he got another turn in there. What if instead we go for a manip, but then we hold time? Then it's like, oh shit, Kate's manip missed. So now we weight trick another manip attempt, and unfortunately it did miss again. But now, because his turn was long enough, did you see I was able to queue up the next manip and hold time? And because the laser animation is so long, that allows us to get holding time before the Deathclaw's ATB emptied, which means once again we're set up to get 2 manip attempts here. We see, oh shit, it missed, okay, defend, hold circle, we get another manip attempt here. There we go. So we got 4 manip attempts there, with him only getting 1 turn in the middle. And that is weight tricking. It's extremely important, and at some point, like, it's a little difficult to grasp at first, but once you start doing it, you'll start just doing this naturally all the time. You start to get into this flow where very basically what the idea is you try to queue up whichever character is the most important and you want them to get extra turns. You queue up their attack during the enemy's turn, and then regardless of whether there's a second character that has to do something, like cast a big guard or something, you then hold time with another character until the enemy's turn is actually done. So let's take another example the next time where weight tricking is very important, is when it's time to learn big guard. Alright, so let's get into a fight on the beach in order to show off how weight tricking can help you once again on the beach plug fight. Now this I already showed during the big guard lesson, but it's the same kind of thing, you know? So normally here what I would do is just like hold time until I manip. But in order to kind of show what I'm trying to show here, we're going to wait for the beach plug to get a turn. So with beach plugs, once again, I'm going to do attacks so that you can see the difference without them getting manipped. If we just attack and then attack again, beach plugs are pretty slow. And so you actually do get 2 Kate Sith turns in each time, just because beach plugs are so slow. But only 2. So what if we were to weight trick it instead? If we are holding time at the end of... So I queued up that attack during the beach plug's turn, and then held time with Tifa, keeping them both at the bottom. Then we can do a weight trick, and another weight trick, and get 3 Kate Sith turns in per beach plug turn. So there you go. That's the whole idea. And again, what it all comes down to is basically once, especially during the enemy's turn, the idea is once you have the important character, such as Kate Sith manipulating, which might take a certain number of times in order for it to work, once you get that down, that queued up, you should just be holding time, and then wait for their ATB bar to empty, and then weight trick up another attempt in order to maximize the number of attempts that you're getting while the enemy is not getting a turn. And so that is weight tricking. And this whole idea becomes very, very important in the Materia Keeper fight. It's also just really important to just think about how much control you have over ATB, because that's also going to be very important in the next fight.